Blessings, crew, and welcome to this week's offering in terms of our physical yoga practice. Here in Aotearoa, we are experiencing a very strange summer where our bodies are going through cold, but a lot more cold than perhaps we were expecting. So you might find that when you're practicing, your body's feeling a little bit interesting, and that can be part of your body adjusting to weather patterns. We're also Cancer full moon today, so as you're practicing, kind of taking all of those things into account. Or if you're practicing this outside of those periods of times, you've picked it up at a different period of time, just think, what's the season doing? How's my body reacting to it? It can give us a lot of information about what our body needs in terms of whether it needs slow or strong or somewhere in between. Please feel free to pop me through requests as well, particularly those of you following this week by week. That's important, so I know what you want. A little bit of a change to the offerings, and the next period of time will be announced soon in terms of how you access them. Our little Facebook relationship is changing, so keep an eye out for that. Right, let's do it, eh? So find your way to your mat. We're going to start seated. And in a comfortable shape, so it might be up like that, might be cross-legged, whatever feels nice to you. You are in heart and soul. And so just sit for a moment where you are. Okay, so notice your surroundings, notice what's going on for you in that space. Just take that moment to bring that awareness to your center, to your breath. We're going to notice our breathing, we're going to breathe out. And then we're going to fill up with that inhale. Really filling into the body. And then exhale, let out what we don't want to carry into this next bit. Inhale again. And exhale. One more. I'm going to bring it in. And exhale, let it out. Right, we're going to take our arms. We can keep with the breath, inhale. And exhale. Bring it down, touch your fingertips to the floor. Think about the earth underneath you. Inhale, come up. And exhale, take it down. It's a couple more like that. Inhaling up. Exhaling. And inhaling out. And exhale down through the center. And then out in front. Arms extend. So roll those shoulder blades away from the spine. And like we're stopping traffic. And then dropping the hands down. Like we're stopping traffic. Dropping the hands down. So keep that movement going slow. And then out we go wide. And we reach around when we link our fingers. And we roll the shoulders down, we take the chin down towards the base of the throat. And take the arms off the back if there's room. And then releasing, coming up slow, all the way up. And right hand goes down, left arm extends, looking under that left arm, big reach. And then lifting up, changing sides. Bring it back to center. And reach it up. Link the fingers. All the way up. And just drop those fingers down to the back of the neck. And just lift the chest, just take it slow. Especially if you've been sitting at a computer a lot. Opening up that breath. And then lifting up. Going down through that centre line to the heart space and pause there. Big deep breath. Letting it out. Then take our right leg and pop it out in front. Bring this left knee in. Give it a squeeze in towards you. And then we're going to take our right hand or our right elbow to that knee. Come around into the first twist, just slow, looking over that shoulder. Bring it back to centre. Take that leg down. Just feel the difference, even just from that simple move in the two sides of the body. And bring that right knee in, give a squeeze. And then foot comes down, left hand or left elbow to that knee. Around we go to the twist. Looking over that shoulder, open the eyes nice and wide. Bring it back to centre, both legs. Out on front, soft knees, team. If you tend to lock up, leave them quite soft. Inhale, bring the arms out. And exhale, just coming forward gently. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come forward. And again, up we go. And down. And up. And out nice and wide, around behind us. Link those fingers again. Roll the shoulder blades down. Tuck the chin in. Work those arms back towards the back of the mat. Release. Bring those arms down. Give the toes a little scrunch. Bring them into Baddha Konasana. Sit in nice and close. Holding onto our feet. And lifting up along the spine, this long spine. We're going to come up through the knees and back down. Slow. Nice long, slow, deep breath, team. And then we're going to bring our body forward, just around the hips, a long spine. Notice crow's toe. It really isn't about getting your head on the floor unless you can. It's about that lengthening of the spine. Really tight, quite often people get in this lower back region, or a lot of pressure that it carries, and so these kind of movements can really help. Initially it's probably all in the legs, but as we start to be able to bring that chest forward and up, so if you're curling over, you're not going to feel it, but I feel it really working with that chest forwards. It's this lovely stretch in the back. Okay, release. From there, we're going to come round onto all fours. And cat-cow pose a few times. So inhale, bring the chest forward. Exhale, take it the other way. And just slow. Inhaling. And exhaling. Give yourself that permission, crew, to do all or some or bits of the class, especially as it builds into a bit stronger. Just looking after your body. What's it been doing? What does it need? Where's it at? We're bringing it back to centre. We're going to step back into plank. This is that moment where it'll be like, no, we're not. So push back through the heels, crown of the head coming forward. If you've just locked your knees up, give them a shake. You push back through the heels instead. Long, deep breath. Then we're going to soften the knees so that as we lift up through those hips, we're extending along the spine. Nice deep breath. Let the head drop. Roll the shoulders away from the spine. And then we're going to come forward, bring the knees down, out to the edge of the mat, big toes together. Pull back into frog pose. This is our resting pose when we don't feel like doing the strong stuff. Reach those arms away, heart towards the floor. Then lifting up, bring the knees back under. And right foot takes a step forward, low lunge. And bring the upper body up. And just slow. So we start out over that back knee. I'm going to inhale, bring the arms up. Lift the fingers and reach up. And then we can play with how far forward we come, whether we're right over that back knee or whether we're sinking it forward. Just play in that space for a moment, check in with your lower back, then find your breath, lift those ribs up. And bring the hands down, nice and slow. We're going to pull back, half split, ball of the foot lifts, toes lift, easing it back. Bringing it forward, taking those back toes under, back knee lifts, come up into the high lunge version, or keep that knee down if it feels like that kind of day. Sink down, inhale, bring the arms up, reach it up, nice deep breath. Lifting out, bring the hands to the heart space and just come up through the hips. So if you have a tendency to lock that knee to straighten up, soften it and lift the hips up so that when you're rolling around, you're not all locked up. Let the breath sink you down, just rolling down that front leg to wherever we reach.
winding forward, bring the hands down, wriggle out that right foot back into plank, and then melting or chaturanga your way down onto your tummy, big toes together, and then just lift slowly along the spine. Nice deep breath. Shoulders drop down, breath nice and long. Elbows come out, rolling back, tucking the toes under as we go, up into down dog. Then come forward, right leg comes down, left foot steps it up. Low lunge, so back knee down. Inhale, bring the arms up, link the fingers, reach them up. And then play with whether we come forward, whether we don't. Nice deep breath. Reach into that space. Noticing, bring that breath into it. And then down we come slow, bring the hands down. Pull back into that half split. So come forward, tuck those back toes under, lift that back knee, come up slow, so bring that upper body up, watch out for the stars, sinking down. We're going to inhale, bring the arms up, link those fingers again, reaching up into that space, back heel presses back, find that enough point, knee nice and lined up with the big toe. Noticing, so bringing that breath into focus. When we lift again, we try not to lock that knee. Coming down along that front leg. Then come slowly around, so coming into the forward fold shape crew. So hands go off the side of your mat initially, that might be plenty. Let's take the weight to the outside edge of the feet and then just dropping down and around. Let the head drop. We're coming around slow into that front foot, turning onto the ball of that back foot, stepping forward, stretching down, so let the head drop, let the face relax, soften the knees, bring the hands to the heart, sink into the half chair, crow on the way up. and then coming up slow to standing. Let the hands come down, moving into the feet, so lifting feet up, moving fingers. Notice how your body's feeling. So let's come into Tadasana, let's check in. What's going on for you? The arms come down, shoulders roll down. Just take a moment, take a few breaths. Soften your knees, checking out, squeezing your butt cheeks together. Crew, just doing that first sequence. This is a good place to pause, to stop, to do a Shavasana, to move into meditation. If you're staying on for the whole thing, then just kind of take a moment, find your breath. Really simple sequence that we've just taken ourselves through, but really effective. We're going to bring our hands back to our heart space, and we're going to anchor through our feet and shift the weight over towards that right foot. Bring this left foot up off the floor. Use a wall if that feels better. Okay, otherwise hands just at the heart at the moment. Bring that left foot down. Bring the right foot out. Again, soft knee, we're letting the body keep its balance. Think about it too hard, you're going to fall over. And come back to that right side, left foot in at the ankle. Again, try not to lock up this knee and try and lift through that side of the body. Breathe. Then left foot comes down, right foot. Then kind of at the ankle. You're going slow. Find your breath. Think about the roots of your tree. This is tree pose. Heading down into the earth. Then that foot comes down and we're going up higher or staying where we were. Only place you don't want to pop your foot is your knee. So bring it up slow. Find that balance. Hands can start at the heart, or we can start to open that length of the body up. We can have our hands up at the top, or we can open our branches up. Let's kind of figure out what's going to feel nice. These arms come down nice and slow. Foot comes down. Change sides. Notice two sides, and again just slow. We might keep our hands at the heart. We might open them up. And then down we go. So just bringing that focus back down, noticing feet, noticing hips. Tree pose, all about kind of bringing us into that centre line. Sometimes we know we're having a bit of a wobbly day. That's why a wall can be handy. But it can also help us bring those energies in. Once we get a bit more used to it, we can play with different shapes. And so we're going to take that focus back into that right side. And again, we can keep our foot down low, we can bring it up high, or we can take hold of it and bring it into a half lotus shape. So if you're doing this one, we can support the foot, or we can leave it there if it's going to stay there. Just notice what feels good.
And then up, we go through these arms, or they can be at the heart. We can also kind of bring the hands down and sink a little bit, using this as a variation on chair pose. So kind of figure out, what does your body need today? Tailbone goes back if you're doing the chair pose version. Lots of breathing, that focus into the breath. Come up slow, release that down, let the hands come down. However you want to play with that. Come to the other side. One side might be just that bit easier than the other. Again, we can be in all sorts of different kind of shapes, and we can use it as well as that little variation on chair pose. So notice. And then lifting yourself back up, unravel, let those hands come down just a bit. Again, you notice sometimes I talk about playfulness in our practice because we can get a little bit too in our mind. Playfulness helps us kind of work on shapes maybe that we wouldn't normally make, gives our body some freedom to not feel like it has to get it right. The main thing is we don't want to injure, right? So it's the same with squats, okay? We start to do these and people are like, I can't. Of course you can, you just might not be able to get your butt close to the floor. And so be playful. We're going to move into our hips in a playful way. And give them a bit of a chance to release. You know, have a play, have a boogie. Then we're going to come down to the halfway mark. Okay, so tailbone going back. And when we push our tailbone back, we're taking the pressure out of the front of the knees. If we start tucking our pelvis under, it's like we're trying to push our thigh bone out the front of our knee. Not a good idea. Once we're down here, we can put our hands on our knees, or we can take our hands to our hearts. This one's a little bit stronger. Loosen up your toes, they're slightly turned out, just for that balance. We're breathing, we're noticing. Maybe we're moving a little bit from side to side. Careful of knees if you're doing that. Just loosening up, heating up. Then we're going to bring our hands down, straighten up our feet, lift the hips, let the head drop. Nice deep breath. Those of you that like this one, reach the hands around behind you, let the fingers lift them out towards the roof. Bring the arms down if you've had them there, bring the heels back in, toes out, back down to a halfway squat. So tailbone goes back. Then give yourself hands to the floor, just see where we get to, feet flat. We can also pop blocks under our butt or cushions. Working our way into whatever feels good, looking after knees, so our elbows support our knees, right? Nice deep, deep breath. We're going to bring the hands down, we're going to lift the hips, we're going to let the head drop, we're going to play with the hips a little bit, so hands to the floor, move gently side to side, loosen up into those hamstrings, encourage those knees not to lock. Then, heels come in, halfway squat. Tailbone goes back. Breathe nice and long. Hands to the heart if you want to make it stronger.
Bring those knees out in line, noticing it's starting to look a little bit more like goddess pose. Loosen up the toes, find your breath. And then lift up slowly. Turn those toes, step back to the front of the mat. Whew. The arms come down. Again, playful, right? And so with our practice, the other thing that happens is we get really kind of stuck in this, resonated with a few of you a couple of weeks ago. We get stuck on the pose. We must go into the pose. Instead of thinking about it as movement. And movement has an entry point and an exit point, right? So our poses all have that. They also have movement within them, and that can be as important. So from the front of the mat, we're going to inhale and bring our arms up. And we're going to bring our hands down with that center, and we're going to come into that half chair pose. And then down, and we take our right foot and step it back. And bring that right heel across so that we're coming up as if we're going to do a warrior pose. Okay? So we're quite strong. We're going to sink into the warrior leg, so we are corkscrewing this front thigh so that our hip is sitting under us. It's not pushing out to the back, it's coming under us. Playing with that back foot, making sure that we feel nice and steady in that knee. See, those are all little movements within the pose that help us go, where's my body at? Otherwise we're very static, right? We don't want to be like that. The other thing is we're going to come down and we're going to think about this right side of the mat and aligning our hips with it without losing the alignment of our knee. And so we might find that we're more like this, or we're coming around to here. Depends. And same with our shoulders, we're going to open up. But then we're going to roll these shoulders down and reach out, and we're going to look over that back hand, and then look over this front hand. And we're going to go, what's happening in my shoulders? Give them some movement. Notice your breathing, come into that. Have we come out of that front knee a little bit? Can we sink a bit deeper? So all these little movements, they are the pose. And those of you that do some vinyasa, some flow, be a little bit more used to it, but less used to the hold. But the hold itself is still full of all these little adjustments. Am I gripping the mat? You know, am I grinding my teeth? So breathe, notice. Sometimes we complicate things too, eh? We think, I have to do all the things in warrior. No, we can just hang out here. We're going to dive down. And as we do, we're turning onto the ball of that back foot. We're stepping back into plank. Pushing those heels back, softening those knees. Lifting up through the hips. Let the head drop. Bring it forward. Knees come down. Right foot steps it up. Back toes tuck under, high lunge. Left heel comes across. And there we are on the other side. And so we start with that front leg, right? We're tucking the hip under rather than being somewhere out there. We're going to come down. From there, we're then checking this back leg. Getting this knee nice and lined up. Making sure the back knee feels alright. Sinking down, and we're going to check our hips with that left side of the mat. That's it. Where's our alignment? The two sides again might be a little bit different. And then we bring the arms up and we're rolling the shoulders down and we're playing with shoulders. We can do all sorts of things. We're making sure that every time we do that, we're softening the body. We're trying to take that tension out, not put it in. And so we're going to breathe and look out over that front hand. Just really allow yourself to be in the pose for a moment. But noticing that your body wants to shift a little bit, might want to sink, might be sneaking up, this knee might be going inwards. Breathe. Heat, you know, nice heat. And then coming down slowly, Turn onto the ball of that back foot. Bring that back knee down. Wriggle out the right foot. Frog pose. Knees out to the edge of the mat. Big toes together. Come back slowly, stretch the arms away, heart to the floor. Then we're lifting it up. We're going to come around to seated. I'm going to grab my water, team. And you're seated. It's back to where we started. So cross-legged, open cross-legged kind of shape, or legs out wide. And we take our arms out, and we're going to bring our left arm underneath our right, and we cross at the elbow. Left fingers to right palm or hugging. Elbows going forward, chin tucks down, nice deep breath. And then changing sides. So, right arm under, right fingers trying to find that left palm. Elbows go forward, arms left, chin tucks down. And we're going to bring the hands down and think of the moon crew and our kind of our relationship with the moon. I'm sitting full moon today, so I'm sitting right in that big moon energy. In the last kind of session we did some Nadi Shavana, some pranayama. I'm going to do it again to try and kind of bring some of that centering energy, the same energy that we use with tree pose, of just bringing that focus into the center of the body. We're going to put into our Nadi Shavana practice. If you've got a cold or you find the breath work quite difficult, be patient. Don't necessarily use the digits of your hand. Just sit with the breath for a minute. If you're able to, right hand, okay, thumb for the right nostril. Tuck these fingers in, and our ring finger for our left nostril. We're gentle when we close them, we're not pushing, we're not forcing, and because they're quite delicate, right? The tips of the nose. We're sitting nice and straight, so we're comfortable. We might want to lean against something, we might want to take our legs out in front. Got that lovely line up through the body. We've opened our chest space up with different poses, so we've got the breath there. We're going to gently block that left nostril, breathe out through the right, and then breathe in. Block that right, open that left, breathe out, and then breathe in. And then change it over, so the top of each inhale we change nostril. So that breath is moving across the body. Keep your arm quite comfortable. Another technique, once we get used to it, we take our chin down a little bit without curving our spine. If you're not used to the chin tuck, just keep the head neutral.
gentle with the breath. Just keeping that flow nice and long, but comfortably long. Next exhale, let your hands come down into your lap, eyes closed or soften gaze. And just be with the breath for a couple of minutes. Now you might want to stay with that, or you might want to turn the meditation for the week on. Now's a good time to do that. Or you might need to return to your day. Or you might like to lie down into Shavasana for a little while. Just kind of notice, make that quite conscious decision. If you need to get on with your day, then we're going to take 8 slow breaths together. Just breathing out. Feeling that pause at the bottom of the exhale and breathing in. Pause at the top. Exhale, open your eyes. Inhale, notice a colour. Exhale. Notice a shape. Move your head just slowly during that breath to look as far as you can over your left shoulder. Bring it back to center. As far as you can over your right shoulder. Bring it back to center. Bring your arms up into that beautiful energy that you've created. Bring your palms down. Bring it to your heart. Come up into that beautiful energy. Bring some out and down to the earth. And then come up and bring some down to the heart space. And just close the eyes for a moment. Be in the breath. Feel that connection to your body, that beautiful practice that you've just been through. And then opening your eyes. Many blessings, everyone. Thank you for joining me this week. And I hope you got on to do the meditation as well at some point. And otherwise there'll be new material next week. And a little bit of information about how it's changing, just for those of you that get the link on Facebook.